We are now in line and connection with Eduardo Flores, the filmmaker, and I'm prepared to take questions and repeat them to Eduardo. He won't be able to see you, I think. Or is it? It's not connected to the screen, is it? Yeah.
Wait a minute.
It will be in a few seconds. But if you would like to have any specific questions for Eduardo about the film, if obviously it's a massive and a big impact in terms of the material, I find it very moving. And he's a big man, was a big man, probably is a big man. Yes, massive example to all of us, really. All the people who believe in a better life, in socialism, that not the world that we should be just having to face and cope, but we can change it. So, Eduardo, ¿cómo está? Buenos días. Buenas. Is, hello?
Oh, you're on mute.
There it is. There it is. Well, thank you both for the kind introduction, and thank you everyone for attending this screening. As you have just witnessed, the character that Fidel Castro was and is still something of great impact for everyone that believes in a better world and that tries to make something to make things change at least a little bit, and to work to leave a better world for our kids and for our kids' kids. So I'm very grateful with the screening organizers for having set up this, and I'm great to talk to you and very happy to answer any questions. As you can tell, I'm talking to you from Mexico City. I had to take shelter in my car. I'm not driving, so don't worry. I'm parked. But I had to take shelter here because I was at an office that was very noisy, and I think this little car environment works better for this purpose. But anyway, so please go ahead with anything you'd like to comment or any questions you'd like to shoot at.
Any specific question? Yeah. Phil. Eduardo?
Yes.
Our friend here is passing his regards as an appreciation of your very good films, about the material that you put together, the material que pusiste junto, and also the fact that they have made an impact on him, the quality of the film. His question is, having worked on Fidel, who do you think is one of the equivalent current leaders in the world that can actually work towards setting an example of similar nature?
Well, that's a very difficult question, and I'm happy to be asked that. That is something that I'm asked quite often, actually. What I have to mention first, before I drop off any names, is that the kind of leadership, the kind of group of leaders that Fidel was on, is a type of leadership that's probably extinct, because that example or that passion of leadership is not longer something people do now with the advent of electronic devices and electronic media and the immediate way that affairs can be addressed. It's very seldom that a new leader actually banks on his power of oratory, on his charisma. Nowadays, as we have seen in America and as we have seen in other countries of the Western world, those characteristics so cherished in the old days to make a leader and not anymore a must that people must have. So I think with Fidel died the last of a breed of leaders that we could see in Nelson Mandela, we could see in someone like Lech Walesa. But those are people from the last century. A few of them, like Fidel himself, had a footstep into this century. But the leaderships all around the world that we face today are completely different. I don't think, because the fashion has changed so much, I don't think that we'll see any other Fidel Castro again. But certainly Fidel was someone probably with people like Churchill, or people like how can I say, people like Roosevelt in America, that helped shape the world we saw go by last century. I hope this answers your question a little bit.
Another question? Yes.
The film depicts a very likable character. Is that easy to find that material of people saying nice things about him?
¿Me escuchas? No, okay.
No, no, sir.
Yeah, the lady here is asking whether you found it easy finding all the material which show Fidel as a very attractive, likable type of person. Was it easy to find all the material, the people that you interview, or was it a difficult exercise?
Well, it's important to say that that Fidel was a very likable person. He was someone with a great sense of humor. He was somebody that would make you feel very close when you came in contact to him. I actually met Fidel a few times before the making of this film, and he always made me feel as someone that had known him for a long time, although it was not the case, obviously. But that was his approach. So that was the Fidel that's reflected on this film. That's the real Fidel. That's how he was. So since our approach to the film was interviewing a big group of people that was close to Fidel in the most iconic moments of his life and his leadership, everyone would tell us what their sensations were when they were close to Fidel in those moments. And it was an unanimous feeling that Fidel was just the way it is portrayed in this film. Some other detractors have tried to portray Fidel as a kind of really evil person, like just pointing the finger to those who would sunk in the abyss and would go to the dungeons and all of that. And that's not the case, or what I found that's not the case at all. He was very accommodating. I mean, he was a strong character person, of course, because he was not only the leader of a small Caribbean island, but he was the leader of the third world. And having that position requires a big strength of character. But he was a fun, funny, good-humored guy all along.
Thank you. Another question? No more questions? Okay. Well, Sal, anything you want to say to Eduardo?
No, just to thank you very much. It's good to put a face to. We've been sort of emailing, and I was very hopeful that this would happen, and I'm glad that we've managed, to make this connection. And I think this is one of the very important things which has come from the pandemic, that this, the possibility of making contact with people from anywhere in the world, really. I think there is a question.
Could Eduardo tell us what he's working on at the moment?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Right. Another question, the last minute typically. Are you working on a on a new project with another interesting material similar?
Oh, yes. I'm working on another similar project of another leader that died tragically, Salvador Allende. Salvador Allende, as most of you must know, he was the Chilean president in the early 70s that died in the military coup that deposed him from power and killed him in September 1973. This year is going to be the 50th anniversary of the United States-sponsored military coup that deposed the socialist government of Salvador Allende, and that's a very, very it's a wonderful project that we're developing, and I'm hoping to be very advanced towards the end of the year. And I'm hoping that by the time I finish it, I'll be able to screen it for you again here.
I think here in Wales, we would like you to come over to discuss the film with us. This is a personal invitation como un chileno refugiado político a ti. Muchas gracias, Eduardo.
Muchas gracias a usted. Thank you.
La invitación está abierta. Yeah?
Well, let's make it happen. The next film should be presented live and not on a stream. I want to ask you a favor. Shell, can you turn around the camera so can I have a look at the audience?
Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much.